Oh yes, another video. We're gonna talk about the division round this time. Yep, some people we thought was gonna make it did not make it. Some people let us down. Some people probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. But it is what it is. So we're gonna jump into our first divisional battle, which will be the Bills versus the Broncos. Number one seeded Broncos had the week off, so they're automatically in the second round. For those of you that don't know, and Buffalo, 6 seed, overcame Jacksonville, late game heroics by Josh Allen, and here we are. So it's kind of the same setup for Buffalo. You're playing a team that is a really good defense. You are the number one rushing offense, and you're playing the team that is the second best rushing offense. It's like last week you got Jacksonville, who was the number one rushing offense, then you dip all the way down to two. So you getting your test of what you like to do against what people are good at stopping. So Buffalo, we know they like to run the ball. Cook, well over 1,500 yards for the year. Allen is always a dual threat. We're going to have to see if Denver is going to be able to keep them in the box and maintain them. Because Denver is your number one sack leader, 68 sacks. They get to you. Second in yards allowed. Bino, sorry, bro, I messed up your name. Zach Allen, Cooper, Franklin Myers. These are guys that you need to be concerned with. This is your pass rush for the Denver Broncos. They will come get you if you are not keeping up with them. And Josh Allen, we know he likes to make plays with his feet and with his arm, but you're gonna have to see if Cook is gonna be able to get going. He didn't really get going the last game, only 56 yards, but I mean, still a solid game. Not by statistics, but he did enough. And I think you're gonna have to mix and match. Josh Allen was dealing with a foot, a knee, and a finger injury, but he is going to play. We knew he was going to play. I don't think there was no doubt about that. To win this game, Buffalo, you're going to have to get Kincaid and Knox involved early. Shakir, they're going to have to contribute. You're going to have to do more outside the running game. This is a solid defense, but you can probably take advantage of anybody that's not named Patrick Surtain because I don't think that's the one you want to throw near. But you're going to have to mix and match with these guys. Gabe Davis, he got lost for an ACL tear against Jacksonville, so that's old reliable. He's not going to be there. But you also do have Coleman. Hopefully Coleman steps up. He's had an up and down year on the field and off the field issues, but hopefully he steps into this role that's available to him and shows why these guys brought him in. I think he is a star in the making, but maybe this is the time to see that. So yeah, they're gonna have to mix and match in the game. They're gonna have to get Kincaid and Knox in there early. You have to figure out a way to get Allen in his element because Denver is gonna put a lot of pressure on him. He knows that, but this offensive line is gonna have to hold up. You're not gonna be able to just relax. They're gonna put constant pressure on you, and we're gonna have to see if Allen is going to be affected by these injuries. Do I think so? Probably not. But it's Allen, so I think you're going to get all of him either way. Greg Rasul, Joey Bosa on the Buffalo side of the game. You guys are going to need to make an impact. Bo Nix is a quarterback that likes to do the same as Allen. He likes to make plays with his feet and with his arms, so you're going to have to keep him contained. Not much pass rush from Buffalo all year round, but somebody's going to have to step up and make some splash plays because this is a team, if you let them have their way, they are going to murk you. So the weather is not going to be a problem. It's going to be 40 degrees, maybe 30s, 15 to 25-mile winds. I don't see many field goals in this game anyway. I see it being another offensive battle, but I do have Buffalo pulling this out. I think Buffalo finds a way. Josh Allen, you are the best quarterback in these playoffs. I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to believe that you are going to continue to prove me right every week until you find a team that's light years better. Who is that? Don't know yet, but I think you're going to prove that. I do think Denver is a solid team. I think this will be the first time they have been truly tested all year. They have had a lighter schedule, of course. I'm not saying that they're not worthy of the number one seed. They did what they had to do, but we'll have to see if Bo Nix is really ready for this. I think he will be ready. I don't think he's going to come out lackluster, but I just think Buffalo finds a way to win because they've been in this situation 1,000 times, and there is no boogeyman named Mahomes around. So I think if Mahomes is not around, Buffalo is usually okay. So, but Buffalo might Buffalo. So we'll have to see. But I'm going to stick with Buffalo. I'm going to hold on to that. We're going to give them the win. Next game we're going to have on Saturday night is Seattle versus the 49ers. Seattle, the number one seed. Seattle is pretty much one of the best offenses and best defenses all year. They are well deserving of their number one seed. Sam Darnold is funny because even when he doesn't look all the way great, this team is still able to find ways to win. That's just how solid they are and how much they are built around him. He doesn't have to be a certified star. The last time these teams have played, this will be the third time they played. They won. 49ers won the first game. Seattle won the last game of the year. Neither of those games included either team scoring over 20 points. So low-scoring game might be another one coming. Seattle has the best defense against third down. The 49ers have the best offense on third down. So something got to give. Can Purdy overcome the lack of weapons? No George Kittle. He tore his ACL against the Philadelphia Eagles. You do have Jennings. This would be a good time to have Ricky Purcell back, but he is questionable. McCaffrey is always there. You know he's always a dual threat to catch and run. I don't know. With the 49ers, they keep losing people, but they keep finding ways to win. So it's hard to pick against them. Seattle did have their way in the last game of the season about 2 weeks ago. It was more of Seattle just having a dominant defense. And I think the 49ers just not having the amount of playmakers that they should have. You can only make up for so much, and I think they have done a great job with that. But I think that Seattle's going to pull this out. I know Sam Darnold is battling an oblique injury, but I think even in the last game they played a few weeks ago, Darnold was only 198 on the passing. Claire Burnett, Walker, that's what killed you. And those two are not hurt. So I think you're going to have to deal with them two more than you're going to have to deal with Darnold. We know Smith-Jigma. We know he's going to get the ball all day. We already know that. But their running game is going to be a problem. And that defense, that pressure that they put, I mean, that's going to be a lot of trouble to overcome. And I don't know if the 49ers have enough to overcome. I mean, you've already done enough. I'm not saying you need to end your season on a good note, but I do think Seattle pulls this one out. I'm not saying it's going to be the same as it was 2 weeks ago, but I do think Seattle is going to have enough more left than the 49ers to win. So I'm going to go with Seattle. Seattle don't let me down now. I'm counting on you. I'm putting you out there. We're going to move on. We have the Texans versus the Patriots. Everybody's seen this one coming. Not really. Patriots are riding high off of their defensive domination over the Chargers, and the Texans are riding high off of their defensive domination over the Steelers. So two teams, both riding high, just period, but two dominant defensive showings in the last game for both of them. And the Texans' problem will be, can you keep Drake May rattled? He is probably the MVP of this league. 4,300 passing yards. He likes to run as well, 350 yards. But you're going to have to control Stevenson and Henderson. You cannot let them two or Drake May run wild. You're going to have to figure out something to do with them. It is beneficial for your health, for your season, to make sure that they don't get any steam going. Do I think the Texans defense can do it? I think they do. I think they can. But you're going to have to make sure you don't do that. CJ, you're going to have to clean up those turnovers. You're going to have to throw it away. You're going to have to run. Not making a play sometimes is better than actually trying to make a play. You might just have to dirt it because the interception last week, not really needed. The two fumbles just needed a little bit more protection on the ball. Steelers have pressure and also with Williams and Levins. Those are guys on the Patriots that can create pressure as well. So it's not like you're getting an off game. You're gonna have to deal with the same type of pressure in the same type of climate. New England, Pittsburgh weather's not any different. So it's gonna be cold. You're gonna have to deal with a strong defensive front. You're gonna have to make sure you're handling the pressure better than you did. No Nico Collins for this game. He's out with a concussion. Christian Kirk, you might be in line for a bigger game. Also, Hutchinson, Noel Schultz. We'll need all you guys to contribute. I know you guys can, and you guys should be able to do that. The Patriots side, Drake May, he's going to have to find Old Faithful, Old Diggs. Diggs is usually open. He is the one that's probably going to be built for these situations because he has the most experience on the offensive side. So I think that's the one you're going to lean on outside of the rushing game, and you're going to have to feed him the ball early, keep him involved, and then go from there. But this is a good matchup. Both of these teams, really good defenses. I think New England has the better statistic offense, but that's because we haven't seen much of CJ. He's been out of the lineup, missed a couple games, and I think Texans have found a footing as the season has went on. They're pretty much on a 10-game winning streak, including regular season and the playoffs. So I think they can continue that. That defense is riding high. I think that defense is a little better than New England's, and I think if CJ just cleans up turnovers, I think this team is fine. Maybe Marks might have another big game. Him and Chubb did a pretty good job. So I'm going to go with the Texans. Yep. I believe the Texans will pull this out. Sorry, New England, I'm going against you 2 weeks in a row. I should have knew better because the Chargers don't always charge. I apologize for that. But I believe the Texans are going to take this one. I'm looking at the Texans and Buffalo AFC Championship. I believe that's what's going to happen, and we'll see if that does happen. So we're going to move on to our last game. Last but not least, we have the Bears and the Rams. We have unnecessary coldness in this game. It is cold here now, so by the time Sunday comes, it's going to be even colder. 10 degrees, that's what they're talking about for you. 15 and 20 mile an hour winds. Now, there is a thing going around that the Rams or Stafford is not good in cold weather. Stafford, to his defense, he did throw 324 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Eagles last year in the division round in the snow. So he had a lot of games in Detroit. Adams has had a lot of games in Green Bay. Nakua doesn't care where he plays. He just savage. So I think that's really not going to be the factor because the Bears also have to play in this cold weather. And the Bears are not used to playing in January. Usually their season is done by December. This is the first time they've been in the playoffs. Well, this is the first time they had a playoff game at home since 18. They went in 2020, but that was in New Orleans, so in the Dome. So this is your first time. It's not like this is the same team for 7 years ago. So everybody has to get accustomed to this cold weather. And I believe the NFL is going to do the best job that they can to keep these players warm. That means not having heaters go out on the sideline. You need to be on that. Don't do that. Make sure people get a fair chance. But the Rams, number 1 offense, number 1 in points, number 1 in passing, 7th in rushing. The Bears are bottom 10 in all those categories, defensive-wise. So it's really the Rams offense versus the Bears defense. Which one is going to prevail? My guy and Swift, you know you're going to have to be on it because cold games equal a lot of rushing. So my guy, Swift versus Williams and Corum. 2 really good running back tandems for both teams, but that's probably where the difference is probably going to be who's going to be able to make key throws in this cold weather. Matthew Stafford is dealing with a finger injury, but he said he's fine. They all said they're fine. We'll see. For the Rams to win, that young front four, looking at you, Verse, and Fisk, and Young and Turner, you guys are going to have to keep Caleb in the pocket. He is not. You can't allow him to run around and make plays. When he was able to do that against the Packers, he killed them. And to keep Caleb in the pocket is a big responsibility because that's just something he's good at. He knows how to do it. He knows how to extend plays on the Patrick Mahomes side, all of that. But he's creating his own way of doing it. So once he extends those plays, you're usually in trouble. And you're going to have to make sure that Loveland, DJ Moore, and Luther Brethren is not on the receiving end of those extended plays. So you're going to have to keep Caleb in a box. You're going to have to bring that pressure. Izzy Trappo, left tackle for the Bears, he is out, torn patella tendon. So Theo Benedict is likely the starter, or we're going to see Braxton Jones. Probably need to put Theo out there. No offense, Braxton. So we're going to see how that affects the pass rush. That will be a benefit for the Rams, but you're also going to have to take advantage of that. Rams defense, for the talent they have, you would think it would be better statistically, but not really. Sometimes it's lackluster a little bit on the Green Bay side, where you're really good in the first half and then you kind of lullaby to sleep in the second. And you've seen what happened to Green Bay last week, so you need to make sure you don't make the same mistakes, especially in the same situation, even worse weather climates. Kevin Dotson is back for the Rams on the offensive line. That's a good thing to hear because the Bears don't have a heavy pass rush, but Montez Sweat, Austin Booker they have been holding it down. I give them that. They have really been making it an emphasis as the season goes on to be a consistent pass rush duo, and I think that's helping to keep them out the way. You want to keep them and Dexter. You want to keep these guys at bay. So the bigger question is, can Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon cover Nakua and Adams? That'll be the bigger question. Johnson, Gordon, both coming back from injuries. They're still not themselves. And Nakua and Adams is in form. Adams still dealing with a hamstring injury. Didn't look exactly himself, but Nakua is himself. So he's already ready. But Adams, we have to see how he does, and we have to see how Johnson and Gordon does as well. But that's going to be a key matchup. Might not play as much because of the weather, but those two are going to have to do a better job of covering than they did against Green Bay because this is a better receiving tandem. At least a better duo. I put it like that. So with this being said, I don't think the weather becomes a big factor. I do think that both teams will have struggles because it's cold. Everybody's cold. Everybody's cold. 10 degrees is gonna drop. I mean, what can you do? And it's NFL. Y'all did them dirty. Why you give them the late night game? No sunlight at all. Yep. So the temperature's gonna drop. If you're from Chicagoland area, you know. So I don't think this weather gonna benefit anybody that's outside. I pray for the people that's gonna be in the stands. God bless y'all. But I think the Rams do come out and figure it out. And I'm not saying that the Bears get blown out, but some of the things that the Bears like to do or have been getting away with, I don't think you get away with it. You're going to consistently get away with it with better teams. And the Rams are a better team than Green Bay. They're a more healthier team at that. So the running game, the passing game, you're going to have to constantly deal with that. It's not, I take away the rushing and I got the passing. You're going to have to deal with both because they're solid in both. And they have the pass rushing to counter you on the other side. So the Bears, I think they do put up a fight. I know they're going to come out with a lot of energy. They still riding away from beating Green Bay, but I think the Rams looked at their mistakes against Carolina, and this is another young team they're dealing with, and they're not going to make those same mistakes twice because Sean McVay usually learns from his mistakes. I will believe that. I believe he is a solid coach, one of the better coaches we have, so I'm going to give the Rams the win, and I think we're going to see a rematch between Seattle and LA for the NFC Championship. So let's recap. I have Buffalo beating the Broncos. I have Seattle beating the 49ers. I have the Texans beating the Patriots and the Rams beating the Bears. So somebody keep track of that. I'm trying to go for 4-0 this time. Don't nobody let me down. Look, I shouldn't have bet on the Chargers or the Packers, I should have knew better. That's on me, but I'm trying to redeem myself this week, so don't nobody let me down. If you see this video, don't let your boy down. Just do it for Lee. If you ain't gonna do it for your team or your city, do it for Lee. I appreciate y'all, but I will catch you on the next video. We'll see what happens.